How y'all doing? I want you to take note of this, folks. Operation Iraqi Freedom. U.S. casualties. Not all of these are by enemy combatants. Some of this is friendly fire and just by chance accident. In over 15 years, there's only 4,540 deaths. I'm not saying only. I mean, that's way too many, considering we funded the death of every one of them, in essence, by funding the government. And this is just our military men, folks. This has nothing to do with the opposing Iraqi combatant soldiers killed, which is minuscule compared to the casualties of war of the innocent men, women, and children who just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time while the U.S. government was imposing its will. The corporation of the United States, should I say. So this is 15 years of military conflict with 4,540. And like I said, the millions of civilian casualties. And this is Operation Enduring Freedom Afghanistan. And this is an 18-year conflict here. And again, I'm going to say there's only, although I don't mean only, but there are only 2,410. Many of accident. Not all enemy combatants killed these folks. But you killed every one of them because you had them over there. You didn't tell your government no. So you have basically 7,000 people killed here over 18 years of military combat of the Americans, just the Americans killed, that you funded every one of them. You funded the death of every one of these, not to mention the millions and millions of people that the bombs that you authorized to drop and the bullets that you shot. You might as well figure out the reality that, yeah, you are complicit to murder. Each and every one of you who participate in the tax game, in the funding of the government, in the voting game. Voting is a scam, folks. You have no say. But the reason I'm here, folks, isn't to show you the number of U.S. military men who were killed in combat. This is to compare you, the real enemy, me, the real enemy of the corporation of the United States, as you see their standing army killed by police this year. 305 already since January 1st of 18. 305 of us, American civilians, have been killed. It don't matter if you're man, woman, old man, child. They assassinate at will, and then they get a paid vacation for doing it. And you're funding it, folks. You're funding your own demise. So this is 2018, March 29th. They already had assassinated 305 enemy combatants We are their subjects, folks. They classify us as subjects. So, in, let's just say, 15 years, let's cut this down to the 15 years. It makes it a little more real. You had almost 7,000 casualties. Right here in 17, you have 1,193 American civilians killed by the police officers. In 2016, you have 1,171. 2015, you got 1,222. You funded every one of these, folks. You're guilty. You participate and you support the system. 2014, you had 1,114 people that you killed because you support the system. 2013, from May to December, they were on a epic killing spree then. 779. So let's just go 12, 24, 24 is 48. $12 is 60. So in these 5.5 years, 6 years, there have been more American civilian casualties than in 15 years of actual military conflict overseas, trespassing into sovereign nations to impose the will of the Corporation of the United States of America, the very largest terrorist organization there is. Part of the Trinity of Three when you throw in Vatican City and the City of London and Washington, D.C. Compared to the number of police officers killed in the line of duty. Look at that. 129 in 17, 159 in 16, 160. Here in 15. I mean, compared to the deaths of the civilians since 13, when they started taking count of the American civilians being executed by the police officers. It's unreal, folks. It's unreal. I'm not saying what to do. There's nothing at this point you can do. Just try to stay out of their way and pray that they shut the system down and let chaos ensue. So that evolution, in the terms of survival of the fittest, take over. I don't know. But you can look over here. Look at this. 9-month-old baby killed by a police officer, Sacramento, when the cop crashed into their car. Just say it was an accident. No, it wasn't an accident. What was this cop doing? Speeding? Doing what he wants to do? I've seen 84-year-old men in here, women, children, and you fund for the murder of every one of these folks, people. Every one of these people who the police officers kill, you have a hand in it. Because you sit idle and you pay their way. You pay their wages. Through the local taxes and the federal taxes. You pay for the death of every one of these civilians killed by police officers. You really, truly do. This is ridiculous, folks. It really is. It has to stop. But who's going to stop it when you all just continually fund it? Totally ridiculous. Over 7,000 civilians killed by the police in 5 years, compared to 7,000 military deaths in 18 years, compared to 2, 4, 6, 8, 800 police officer deaths in the same amount of time. You gotta remember, some of these cops are just dying of heart attacks and dying in car accidents. These aren't all killed by civilians in the line of duty, as these are all killed by the police officers. Sad, folks. Really sad. I'm just going to give these guys a moment of silence. As well as these folks, a moment of silence, including the casualties of war. As well as these guys, a moment of silence. Alright, that's good.